بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Ameen. This is your host, Scary Abdul Wahid, or Abu Naima, or Abu Abdul Rahman, whichever one you choose. You know what I mean? Rightfully so. The name is Abu Naima, but in some Arab countries, they have issues with females, so they refuse to call me Abu Naima. They insist on calling me Abu Abdul Rahman. So alhamdulillah, those are their issues. You know what I mean? So we're not going to harness their issues and make them our own. We need to continue with what it is that we left off with yesterday, which was the issue of spirituality. We were talking about how these parts in which we talked about, because we were speaking for the episode 1 of the Bowtie Chronicles, episode 1A. We're going to call this one episode 1B, okay, the continuation of 1A. And we talked about spirituality, and we went off on a tangent about how females are smarter than men, okay. And like I said, I know I'm going to get a lot of feedback, but that's all good because the proof is in the pudding. The reality is there. Okay, and I only gave a small example of of just life experience as far as how I seen that in happen in real time. But that's a lightweight aspect of it. When you talk about spirituality, it is the woman in which the man comes from. Okay. And many times a woman have insight into things that will come or things that have already happened. You know what I mean? And they may have that insight long before they even catch wind of it, or even if you don't tell them. You know what I mean? So that right there, she has a spiritual connection many times to her siblings, and to sometimes to the man that she has her bond with. If she's married to that man and she falls deeply in love with that man, she will have a spiritual bond with that man. And when that man becomes afflicted, or vice versa, the feeling is felt. Okay. So spiritual development and growth is a fundamental factor in trying to bring about stability in the relationship. Okay, when females don't have that bond with a man, what happens is that she starts to lose her spirituality. What happens at that point is that she becomes more worldly, like we see our women now. And so morals seem to go down, behavior, the lack of respect for men, the way they talk to men, and the way they, B style, just running all off. You know what I mean? And so these are examples of a low spirit, okay, or just spirit being in decline. Because if the spirit is raising is increasing, and the spiritual development is where it needs to be at, then people grow and they move out of baseless argument and baseless conversation. They move into things of importance. They talk about things of importance, and that's where we need to be at as far as a community and in relationships in a whole, as far as African American men and African American women, or African. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say, because we're talking about the black woman, so we don't want to put confines on who is the black woman. So let me correct that. Okay, and sisters, don't pull out daggers on the brother because I said that. Okay, because we have some sisters that will they taking sides because they have an argument. The argument is that, you brothers, you get with the African sisters and y'all change up, or y'all treat them different than y'all treat us. Some of that is true, but also we need to look at the aspects and the reality of what's in that relationship and the baggage that comes with one relationship and not with the other. You know what I mean? Or how they interact. You know what I mean? Or how we interact. You know what I'm saying? So with one another, or with other people. So those are things that we need to talk about in the future. We're gonna get to those in the future, because that's definitely my critics are going to definitely, which they've already spoken of. Okay. In real time. All right, talk about emotions here. When we talk about emotions, a woman's emotions are directly connected to her spirituality and the way she feels for her man. Sometimes that can be good, or it can be negative. The majority of the time, it's negative. Because if the feelings don't come from up top and they come from below all the time, like we used to say back in the day, stop thinking with other parts. These are problems that don't let people see rational. Okay, and likewise we have men that are. I've seen brothers that are. They're so self-centered to the point where they're irrational, and they can't make the proper choice when it comes down to relationships or with their wife. And so they make choices based upon how they feel rather than how what's best for everybody. You know what I mean? Likewise, when you sit down with sisters and you talk about particular issues, sisters may have a bona fide gripe, but they tailor the issue with I feel, I think. You know what I mean? When you start off with I feel, and these automatically, you know what I mean, start your conversation off with some concrete proofs, so as to get the conversation going, and then you can move towards a solution. But if you're just feeling and feeling and feeling, and I'm not saying it's not saying you're not sound, but what I'm saying is that that could be a trigger for a man to say, oh, here we go again with this right here. In other words, you can't get out of your feelings to actually get to a solution for the problem, whatever the problem may be. So that's where you have to be at when you're dealing with one another, is that you have to get out of your emotions at a particular time to get to where the solution, your emotions allowed you to get to the understanding part of where you at. Now you got to get out of that in order to apply it, or to confront the person and show him or her, where you at with that. But if you can't get out of that, and every time you sit down to talk about it, your emotions are turned back on, then what happens at that point is that you can't get nowhere, because you're not speaking from up here or from here. You're speaking from an emotional standpoint, and so you may be a little bit below, round up in here somewhere. So it's better to kind of turn certain things off in order to move forward towards the development. Another aspect that we wanted to talk about is love. Okay, and a lot of times, we have concepts of love. Okay, and for me, love is a general. It's general. You know what I mean? I love for all mankind. I love all Allah's creation. Okay, then I have people in which are my brothers. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my brothers, but all of my brothers are not my friends. You know what I mean? I choose my friends. Allah chose my brothers, but I choose my friends. You know what I mean? So I might have some brothers that I'm good with, but they're not my friend. You know what I mean? So then I might have some brothers that are my brothers and they my friend. Okay, so brotherhood for me, and when you talk about love, brotherhood is a general thing. All creation is my brother. Okay, then you have a specialized brotherhood. You know what I mean? African American brotherhood. You know what I mean? Or my people, my black people. So that's a particular section that, you know what I mean. Then I got brothers in Islam. They not all different dimensions. Okay, so that love that's placed there, all right, has different categories. Now, when you talk about in a relationship, every relationship should start off with a general love, okay, and then from that general love, you grow into a greater recognition of the person and a reverence for what Allah gave you in that person. And then as you continue to grow, the love increases. Okay, it increases. Of course, there's going to be ups and downs, but that should only increase the love, because to go through something and then still be together and recover from it makes you stronger. So a lot of people get into relationships, and as soon as they hit a hard patch, it's like, oh, I'm out of here. And then they fall apart completely because they think, oh, love ain't like this. No, love is all about that. You know what I'm saying? Love come with the thorns, the pricks, and all that right there. And the way I would break that down is something that I remember. Somebody shared this with me a long time ago. Love is a situation where it's like a rose. When you take a rose, you get all of the petals and the sweet smells and the things that come with the rose. You can get sweet perfumes from it. You can get all that type of stuff right there. People leave away from the rose smelling good. But likewise, if you go below the actual flower itself, then you have the stem. Every time you reach for the stem, you get pricked and you bleed. Okay, so love is coupled with that. Likewise, when you talk about having kids, okay, or being in a relationship with a man, and you talk about falling in love, you go through a whole sensational period for, however long it may take to create a child, in which you having all this, things that you enjoy. Okay, but then you got 9 months of a straight up rough patch. Okay, where the brother like, dang, sister, oh man, waking me up 2 a.m, wanting to go get ice cream and just whatever it may be, and she's going through all kind of different things. So those are the dimensions that love take you through. So you may go through dimensions where it's all good, and you're just growing, and both of you guys are just but then you go through periods where both of y'all, you know what I mean? But then you have to realize, as I said before, that all of this right here are just stages in which love, because love is about ups and downs, it's about growth, it's like life. So if you just think, oh, it's coming to it, it's a fairy tale, my prince is coming in on a white horse, and the horse don't happen to be white, then you got issues, because you're not really understanding, dealing with the realities of that need to be addressed there. So with that being said, when you talk about queening a sister, you need to have all these aspects on your mind, okay? Because one, you got to have responsibility in line. You got to be grounded, and you can only be grounded with family. And you got to have spiritual development, or nothing is going to work. All right? Spiritual development levels out your emotional state, and also your emotional state is directly connected to what you call love, because women feel through that. So do men. Men think they're not emotional. Stop it, okay? We emotional too, okay? So with that being said, I'm gonna leave you there. Give me some feedback. Feedback is always appreciated. It's not hated, okay? And once again, at the Bowtie Chronicles, we thank you, and assalamu alaikum.